Good evening, attendees. We're going to begin the convocation in approximately 5 minutes, so please make sure that you mute your mics and turn off your camera. Thank you so much. When it comes to
It's a local liquidator spring Black Friday Lord sale. All waterproof floors are on sale up to 50% off. Get up to 36% off selling. Plus, get special financing and professional installation.
Hello?
Hey, hello, can anyone hear me?
Hello?
Hey, is there anybody else in here?
Yeah, this is Christy Link.
Hey, it's Brandon Darby. I'm just a student, so I'm waiting for this thing to start, I guess.
Mic check, mic check. Mic check. All right, good evening. Welcome, Class 223, to the Senior Enlisted Academy class convocation. I apologize for the delay. We had some audio issues, so thanks for hanging in there. I'm going to be your facilitator this evening. I am CTICS Laura Stout. I go by Laura. I am Blue Group FA. What we're going to do this evening is walk you through Blackboard. So at this time, please make sure that you mute your mic and turn off your camera. At the end of the convocation, I will open it up to questions, and then you can unmute your mic and ask away. This evening, I am joined by fellow FAs HMCS Jill Bankus. She goes by Jill. GMCS Omar Ochoa. He goes by Omar. QMCS Nick Nickel. He goes by Nick. ETNCS Justin Sekeptua, he goes by Justin, and EQCM Nate Kimball. They are available via chat to answer any questions that you may have. Also welcome this evening our adjunct FA, Pat Tungate. He's going to take on the discussion board portion of the convocation and answer questions. I'd also like to say welcome to our Air Force and our Marine sister services that will be joining us for Class 223. All right, so a little bit of an overview. We are going to review the syllabus, talk about navigating Blackboard. I'm going to take you into the major assignments tab, show you how to upload essays, give you some information about Turnitin. Pat, our adjunct FA, is going to discuss discussion boards. We're going to talk about some keys to success and some good to know information. So, quick look at the syllabus. Your week is going to run Monday through Sunday during your online portion at the SEA. When we tell you you have essays that are due, they're going to be due Sunday nights at 23:59. Your military FAs grade your essays and will lead you during your in-residence portion of the Senior Enlisted Academy. Your adjunct FAs, such as Pat, will grade your discussion board posts and capstone project. Discussion boards are due Wednesdays and Saturdays at 23:59. You have 2 primaries and 2 secondaries that are due each week. Make sure that you take the time to look at weekly topics and requirements. We're going to walk through this here shortly, so just stick with me. Your essays are going to be due on week 2, 4, 6, and 7. You're going to have exams, quiz 1 specifically, week 3, and your midterm week 5. Your essays will become speeches when you come in residence. So when you receive feedback from your faculty advisors on your essays, make sure that you make your required changes prior to getting here because you're going to turn those essays into speeches when you come in residence. Grading. We have a 3-strike rule here at the Senior Enlisted Academy. 3 failures and you're out. So your first failure, you're going to receive an academic counseling and some suggestions on how to get you back on track. Second failure, you're going to have an academic review board, which is going to consist of 3 faculty advisors that are not your own. They're going to review your situation, call you, talk to you, see how they can get you back on track, and also make sure that your faculty advisor is doing what they're supposed to do, and then decide a course of action from there. Third failure, it's basically up to the director, and more often than not, depending on the situation, you'll be disenrolled. Surveys, you're going to have an opportunity to provide feedback during your time at the Senior Enlisted Academy. You will receive a class up survey. You will receive surveys during distance learning, and also you will receive reminders on Friday at 0700 Eastern Standard Time to complete your surveys. All right, staying on top of things while you're at the SEA, we understand that you have jobs, that you're operational, you have families. We totally understand that. So for that, we want you to note that you need to make sure you don't miss any deadlines without prior authorization. Make sure that you reach out to your FAs early and often. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Every single one of your FAs have been operational at some time. We understand what it is to be at sea. So please make sure that you reach out to us and let us know if you need an extension or if you have extenuating circumstances before issues occur. That way we can help you and get you taken care of. Another important instance to be sure that you're aware of while attending the SEA is busting the similarity index limit on your essays. You're going to have essays that you're going to write, and then you're going to have a practical exercise, we'll go over that here shortly, that will tell you your similarity index. Make sure that you upload your essays to Turnitin early so you can check your similarity index. If you bust the limit that is delineated in the practical exercise, you can pull it down from Turnitin before the due date and fix it. Where do you find the deadlines you're thinking or you're asking? Well, you can find them on a syllabus, your calendar, weekly checklists, practical exercises, in the major assignments tab, and also weekly discussion boards. All right. So now these are the things that we're going to discuss when it comes to navigating Blackboard. I'm going to show you how to find your way to the Navy War College Library. It is a free resource available to our students of credible resources that will help you write your essays for research. I'm going to show you announcements, weekly lessons, major assignments, quizzes and exams, the resources tab, and my grades. All right. So here now on the screen, you should be able to see Blackboard. My mouse right here, I'm going to navigate to these top options. Right here is the Navy War College Library. Click on this link, log in, and you will have access to plenty of resources that are available to you as you write your essays. These are credible sources, and this will allow you to cite your sources and have plentiful information when you're putting together your content for your essays. Over on the left-hand side, I'm going to bring you down here to announcements. Right here on the announcements page of Blackboard, you'll find all the information that you will need about surveys, welcome to the SEA, travel information, CFL information. The week before you come in residence, we're going to have an admin week announcement that's going to give you some important information. And then while you're in residence, all of your weekly schedules will be posted here as well. Again, on the left-hand side, I'm going to click on your weekly lessons tab. This is where you're going to find all your weekly lessons. Right here, week 1, you're going to focus on communication, writing, and the profession of arms. You'll click on this link. Right here, you'll have a downloadable checklist for the week. It's going to discuss surveys. It's going to discuss important information about your email address. And then your learning objectives. So today starts week 1, and you're going to have a fundamental understanding of 3-part comms process, know how to write papers in APA style format, recognize the senior enlisted role in promoting sound ethical decisions based on values and standards of the profession of arms, and synthesize your relationship with the profession of arms. This is where you can find your learning objectives for every week. Right below your learning objectives, you will find all of your required course material, as well as any important information, such as what here below. Next, we're going to move on to your major assignments tab, right here on the left-hand side, right below weekly lessons. First and foremost, you're going to see some information on Turnitin. If you have not used the Turnitin program before, you can find instructions on how to submit an essay, a YouTube video explaining similarity index, and instructions on viewing your grade and feedback via Turnitin. So if your faculty advisor grades your essay via Turnitin, they will give you information on how to download it. Your first written essay here at the Senior Enlisted Academy is going to be your ethics essay. Right here in the Major Assignments tab, you're going to find your practical exercise. Click the download button. And it'll open up for you. Right here in the PE, it gives a description of the assignment, where to download your topic, how to submit an outline, material relevant to the topic. It's also going to tell you your page requirement. Right here, number 8 is your similarity index, some additional grammar and writing rules, your main points, and then where you can find your grading criteria. Make sure for each essay that you take the time to open up the practical exercises. You will find all the relevant information you will need to write your essay. Right below your ethics essay information is your ethics essay submit here option. This is where you're going to click view complete when you're ready to submit it, and it will take you to Turnitin so you can upload it. Capstone. Between your ethics essay and your problem essay is your capstone area. This is your group project. You will have a leader and you will have assigned tasks, and this is where you will go to turn in your assignment. Right here it tells you when they're due, and your adjunct FA will also provide additional information. Again, here, your problem essay is going to be your second essay that you're going to turn in while at the SEA. All the information you need is right in this area. You can download your PE. There's also a sample problem essay written in APA template, so you can go ahead and download that and type over it. There's a sample outline and also a grading rubric. Below the problem essay information, you will find the area to submit your problem essay. And finally, your heritage essay information, right below where you submit your problem essay. And then again, right below the military heritage essay information will be where you submit. We're going to go ahead and move up here to your quizzes and exams. We talked about this earlier. You're going to have quiz 1 during week 3 and your midterm during week 5. So you come over here on the left-hand side, you're going to click quiz and exam. Click on the appropriate quiz or exam when the time comes. Again, by clicking on the calendar, you will be able to see when your assignments are due. Make sure you utilize your calendar. That way you won't miss your deadlines. All right, coming back over to our menu side, we're going to click on resources. You'll find plenty of writing resources in this area here. When you're looking at 3-part comms, especially in week 1, if you're still unsure of the information once you've gone through it, you can go ahead and click on Mastering 3-Part Comms. We're going to give you an example of a heritage essay outline format, some troubleshooting guides, some information about passive voice, paragraph development, a grammar review, and then also 3-part comms explained. This diagram right here does a great job of explaining and identifying the three-part comms model, which you will use as you write essays here at the Senior Enlisted Academy. And remember, when you're going through this process, if you have any questions, reach out to your FAs early and often. Back down here in the Resources tab. Again, another area for APA reference and assistance. For those that choose to use the Navy War College Library, this link will take you here. There's a tutorial video. It's only 12 minutes long and it'll walk you through the process. If you are unsure what is deemed a credible or non-credible source, you can click on this sheet right here and it's going to open up a reference for you to download and be able to tell the difference between a credible and a non-credible source when you are citing your sources in your papers. We also have some downloadable course videos that will assist you in writing, additional writing resources, and some study skills tutorials. Down at the bottom, again, for reference, we have the Navy Leader Development Framework for download, Laying the Keel, Enlisted Joint Professional Military Education, the NCO Petty Officer Backbone of the Armed Forces book, Officer-NCO Relationships. All of these resources are downloadable and for your use while you attend the course. While you're going through the Senior Enlisted Academy, you're going to want to check out your grades. Here on the left-hand side, you're going to click on the View My Grades tab. It'll open up right here. You'll be able to see each discussion board, essay, quiz, and test, and the results on the right-hand side. If you have any questions about the feedback from either your adjunct FA or your military FA, do not hesitate to ask questions. Make sure that you take the time to read the practical exercises verbatim. I'm back over here in the Major Assignments tab, and we're talking about essays. Earlier I reviewed the Ethics Essay Practical Exercise. Download it, open it, and read it. This is going to aid you as you write and author your essays. The information that you need is going to be encompassed within. For example, this ethics essay is going to be a 2 to 3 page essay. Therefore, you need to make sure that you're not at 1 1/4 or 1.5 pages. Minimum 2 to 3 page essay. Again, number 7 tells you how many references minimum that you're going to need, credible references or sources to cite within your paper. Any questions about the practical exercises, make sure that you reach out to your All right, we're going to come back over here to our PowerPoint. Now we'd like to discuss discussion boards. So for that, I would like to pass the mic over to Pat, the adjunct FA. Pat?
Hey, Laura, thanks very much. I had a lot of good information there. So I'd like to welcome everybody in class 223. If, like she said, if you have any issues at any time, please contact your FAs, either your active duty FA or your adjunct. So discussion board. So our weekly themes are in conjunction with the discussion board, your weekly topics. So your weekly topics, there'll be at least 2 topics that are addressed, and there'll be 2 questions that apply, 1 to each of the topics. So the basics of the discussion board. So you're given a question and you're expected to answer it. So that answer is to be a critical thought. It's not a discussion where You're having one in the chief semester list. You're having a really critical thought process there in the mess. But what I'm trying to say is that it's an academic environment, so it needs to be an educational environment type answer. Make sure you hit the word count. Your answers for the questions are 200 to 250. If you go under, you're going to get gigged. If you go over, you're going to get gigged. So you say, well, why do we have, if we go over, are we getting gigged? Well, we want you to be able to put that thought in a small, compact answer. We want you to be able to get it out without all the clutter. And when you're doing a critical thought process, clutter really messes up that process. So let's make sure you get it under 250 and get it above 200. It does not count or include, I'm sorry, your citing. So when you're using Blackboard, when you're answering the question, please cite your references. That would be the information or the information given by the Blackboard or the information that you find through either the internet or through book source. Properly cite them. That will aid you in your further practice of APA. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, keys to success. Be open to the learning expense. Okay, is that all for the discussion board, Laura?
That is, Pat. Definitely. If you want to,
okay,
go ahead and elaborate on capstone, please do.
Some elaboration. Discussion boards. When you're talking to your shipmates, your fellow chiefs, please be forward with them. If they're wrong, they're wrong. Say, hey, I don't agree with you. If they're right and you don't agree with them, still say, I don't agree with you. But be forward with them and get that conversation open. Make sure that you be respectful, and most importantly, do not put people's names out. So if you're giving a C story to a question and you want to elaborate, as we always talk about, don't put people's names out there. And always remember, this is a non-classified environment, so don't use that information that's classified. Some other pieces that I really stick to is that you need to answer the question first of all. The question, it has parts to it. If you really look at it, it says, you know, what is this? What does it what is it validated by? And what is your opinion, or what is your thoughts on it? So you need to make sure that you give that thought. And we remember, all of the adjuncts, we've been doing this for quite a while, so we know all the answers to the question. So don't try to bullshit us. Don't try to throw a Hail Mary. If you didn't read the material, we're going to know if you didn't read the material. So get in, read the material, and use the words in the answer from the material. Okay, so capstone. So as Laura said, we adjuncts will be grading your capstone. We went to the same school that your full-time military active duty FAs went to, so we know the three-part comm system. We're very versed in it all, and we expect you to hit that. So you'll get week one, probably by next Sunday, you'll get a topic. It'll be usually a country that you have to address together as a group. And that capstone project is an expectation that you work together, and you will receive a grade together as a group. It's written just like your other papers. You must read the PE though, because if you don't read the PE, you're going to miss some of it. That's about all I got. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you so much, Pat. I appreciate that. Again, if you have any questions at all, please make sure that you reach out to your adjunct FA for discussion board capstone or your military FA for your essays. So let's talk about some keys to success. Be open to the learning experience. Regardless of your past college, your FAs are here to help you. Put in the work, put in the time, put in the effort, and we are here to get you through the process. Read and follow your practical exercises. I can't stress that enough. I showed you where to find them. There's one for every essay. Make sure you open it, have it next to you as you work your way through your essay. That way you can ensure that you're developing your content in accordance with the practical exercise. You make sure that you meet your minimum and maximum page count. You know that you have a limit for similarity. And then also there are a few aspects of grammar that are covered in that practical exercise that you want to make sure that you pay attention to. Pay attention to your deadlines. If you have a question, if you need an extension, reach out to your FAs, but utilize your checklists, utilize the calendar, utilize weekly emails and updates, and also utilize each other. Whatever way each group decides to communicate, make sure that you're passing that information through your communication channel and you're keeping each other apprised of when you have assignments due, tests, discussion board posts. Really support each other and push each other through the process. It will be a much better experience that way. Communicate early and often. As I said earlier, all of your FAs have been operational, have been on sea duty, have been attached to squadrons, submarines. We all have varied backgrounds. We understand life and work circumstances, and we want to help you. We want to see you through the process, and we want you to be successful. So communicate with us early and often. That way we can make arrangements to support you any way that you need. Use your mess. Each group is going to be a little mini mess, okay? Lean on each other. Some of you are going to have varied writing experiences. Some of you are going to have diverse experiences in many other areas. So query each other, lean on each other, help each other, and reach out to one another. And finally, find and use an academic mentor. There are brothers and sisters all throughout the fleet that have attended the Senior Enlisted Academy and have made it through. So go ahead and reach out and get that person to take a look at your papers or to read over your opinion on a discussion board post. Have them give you some feedback. Don't be afraid to ask. When you're looking at academic mentors, preferably select somebody who has been through in the past year to year and a half as our curriculum tends to change. That way you can make sure that your academic mentor is versed in the ways that we are handling our curriculum at the current time. All right. So some good to know information. The student handbook. I'm going to go ahead and switch monitors really quick and bring you back over here. This is Blackboard. So when trying to locate the student handbook, you're going to click on the Start Here tab. Come down here to the Download Center. This is where your syllabus is located, your grading rubrics, your student handbook, and course material. If you're going underway and you need to download this information, put it on a CD to take it with you, this is where you can go ahead and do it. That student handbook is going to be very beneficial, especially prior to coming to Newport. It's going to delineate uniforms required while you're here, climate, where you're going to stay. Very useful, helpful information. So take the time to take a look at that student handbook. Group shirts. While at the Senior Enlisted Academy, each group has the opportunity to create and manufacture their own t-shirts that can be worn during the in-residence portion of the Senior Enlisted Academy at selected PT events. Group t-shirts build camaraderie, esprit de corps, they show group pride, so definitely take the time if you want to develop shirts. It's not a requirement. The groups will have to pay for the shirts, but it's definitely a fun way to kind of become close as a group and build that camaraderie and team spirit for when you get here. All right, so from our DTS coordinator, make sure that you don't book lodging in DTS. Follow Blackboard announcement instructions released weekly. Anytime there's an announcement posted to Blackboard, you'll go to the Announcements tab, which I showed you early in the convocation, and anything that is important and relevant to you as students will be posted there. Follow the 5 steps listed under the DTS Info tab in Blackboard. I'm going to switch over and I'll show you that. So back over here to the left, down below whole class discussion, SEA staff, you're going to find your DTS Travel Information tab. You can click on this tab right here. All of your DTS prereqs, creating your authorization travel orders, traveling to the SEA and returning home, all this relevant information is here, as well as we provide support when you create your voucher and your travel claim. At the very bottom, you're going to be able to locate supplemental DTS resources and some frequently asked questions regarding travel to the Senior Enlisted Academy. So definitely take the time to become familiar with this tab. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to our travel coordinators up here at the top. SEA DTS Coordinator at usnwc.edu or via their commercial and DSN numbers located at the top. This is everything that we just discussed in the DTS Travel Info Center, your DTS prereqs. All right, they're going to be due Sunday of week 1. So that is this coming Sunday, March 17th. March 17th. Your DTS authorizations are going to be due Wednesday of week 5. Traveling to the SEA, returning home, and all your voucher information can be found in that same DTS Travel Info Center. Again, some important DTS milestones. We just discussed this. You're going to see announcements on these as well. All right. DTS freeze begins week 7 of Wednesday. No changes to authorizations without SEA approval. So make sure that by week 7, any changes that you need made are done prior to. If you have changes at week 7 or beyond, you need to make sure that you contact the SEA DTS coordinators for approval. Do not delete travel itineraries. Make sure you save them from SATO. Contact the DTS coordinator for any travel-related questions that you may have. Again, make sure you follow the 5 steps under the DTS Travel Info tab in Blackboard. Watch for DTS-related Blackboard announcements. Contact the SEA DTS coordinator for any travel-related questions. All right, so this evening we navigated Blackboard. We went into the Major Assignments tab and discussed an overview. Pat went over discussion boards and capstone. We talked about some keys to success, as well as some good-to-know information. At this time, I would like to open the floor to any questions, so you can go ahead and unmute your mic. Please keep your video cameras off, and I'll field any questions. Thank you.
This is Frank Thomas. How far away is the barracks from the learning center or the place that we have to come to for class?
Good evening, Frank. Thanks for joining us. It is not that far. It's about a 20-minute walk.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate the question.
Laura, good evening. This is Jamil Gisham, Gold Team. My question to you is, do you guys look at the outlines if we utilize the outlines by the FAs?
Good evening, Jamil. Thanks for joining us. Each faculty advisor will provide their specified deadline for their outlines.
Awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hi, Laura. This is James Brown, Red Team. I just had a quick question. When you were talking about the resources library on the Blackboard, I just wanted to know, are our resources solely coming from that library, or can we seek other sources if they're available?
Hi, good evening, James. Absolutely, you can use other resources. We provide the War College just as another reference library for you. Those are all credible sources. Make sure you take the time to look at the credible versus non-credible sources under the resources tab while you're doing your research, and that'll help you delineate, what's going to count as a credible reference when you're citing your sources versus what's not a credible reference. Wiki or Wikipedia is not going to be a credible source, right? GoatLocker.org is not going to be a credible source. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does, Laura. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hi, Laura. This is Brandon Lenz, Gray Team. I'm on the phone, not on the webinar. Are you able to hear me?
Absolutely. Hi, Brandon. Thank you.
I'm one of the sister service members. I'm from the Air Force, and I noticed a lot of the DTS information says for Navy TAD students only. Is there additional guidance, or where do we get our guidance for doing DTS when that time comes?
That is a fantastic question, Brandon. So you're going to navigate to the DTS Travel Info Center and work through DTS, and any questions you have that may be pertaining to Air Force and travel regulations, you can reach out to our DTS department, SEA DTS Coordinator at usnwc.edu, or you can reach out to our faculty advisor, Jeff Scobie. He is also Air Force, and you can find his info under the Meet the Staff icon on the left-hand side of the screen, and he'll be happy to help you out as well.
Okay, perfect. I have some emails from him, so thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Hi, Laura. Louis Schubert, Purple Team. With flying in, how far is the SEA from the airport so we can plan accordingly for that?
Absolutely. Good evening, Louis. That's a great question. So depending upon traffic and weather, it's about 45 minutes to an hour from Providence to Newport.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Good evening, Laura. Jay Roach at Red Team. The app on the phones, are those updated accordingly with what we have on our computer, or is it non-usable as far as the app on the phone?
Good evening, Jay. That is a great question. So we do have students who utilize the apps on their phones. Depending upon the type and style of phone, the view may be slightly different. So you're going to want to make sure that you can see on the left-hand side of Blackboard all of your blue tabs that are going to allow you to access your weekly lessons, your major assignments. And sometimes on the phone, you'll have to click and pull them over. It's just going to be dependent upon the phone and the model.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Laura. Willie Scott, Gold Team. What about the PowerPoint presentation that you just showed us? Is that available for look at later for review?
Absolutely. That's a great question, Willie. So we are recording this webinar, and once we're complete this evening, it's going to be uploaded to YouTube, and then you'll see an announcement in Blackboard either this evening or tomorrow that says, hey, we conducted this webinar. Please go and view the webinar at this location. So you'll definitely be able to see it and look at it again. Plus, you can always reach out to your FA and ask them for it as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. These are some fantastic questions. Keep them coming.
Good afternoon. This is Andrew, Blue Team, Andrew Feliciano. Question in regards to the DTS prerequisite portion of it. I'm assuming that the prerequisites they're talking about is in the click down where it says SEA Travel Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
Are those the ones that we're supposed to complete? Are we supposed to notify anybody that say we've completed those, or is it just assumed come week 2 that we've completed those?
So our DTS coordinators track all of that. So you need to make sure that you are completing these prereqs in accordance with the PowerPoint that's in the DTS Travel Info Center, and then reach out to them if you're having any issues or if you can't complete them. And also CC your faculty advisor as well, just so they have oversight and everyone's in the loop.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Laura. Lewis
Hi,
Schubert
Laura.
again on Purple.
Oh,
Is it okay to go ahead and call NGIS now, or should we just go ahead and wait till week 2 when all that stuff starts kicking off for us?
Yeah, go ahead and wait until there's an announcement in Blackboard. Our DTS coordinators will let you know the appropriate time to call NGIS and reserve your room. Our DTS coordinators do a fantastic job of cornering off rooms with NGIS for you. So just wait until our DTS coordinators give you the go-ahead to schedule and secure your room.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Laura, this is Frank Thomas again, Blue Team.
Hi, Frank.
The ride from the airport. Hey, how you doing? The ride from the airport, would that be provided from the school, or we gotta find our own way to the class?
So you're authorized to take a taxi. We do not run any kind of school-provided shuttles, but a lot of times group members will communicate with each other prior to coming in residence to see who's driving or who's flying in at what times and who has rental cars, and they will usually either carpool or you can take a taxi.
Is there a rental car place on base that if we got it from the airport, we can turn it in at the on base?
There is not a rental car area or a rental car location here on Newport. The SEA does not provide rental cars. We do not pay for rental cars. If your command wants to do so via their OPTAR, that's something that you want to talk to our DTS coordinators about, but we unfortunately do not provide rental cars. However, you can be reimbursed for your taxi ride to and from the airport. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks. All right, 223, do I have any more questions? All right, if not,
I guess that's it.
223, do I have any more questions? All right, if there are no more questions, thank you so much for attending the webinar this evening. We all here at the Senior Enlisted Academy look forward to meeting you all and working with you over the next 10 weeks. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
All right, Dan.